So good night, everyone. This meeting is being called to order officially at 9:43 p.m. All right, guys, welcome back to another club meeting. We sincerely apologize for the delay. We're experiencing some technical issues, and you may unfortunately still see some residue of it. But we thank you for your patience and thank you for still putting in the effort to try and be here. We really appreciate that. So another 2 weeks has passed, so another club meeting is presented to you. So sit back, relax, engage, and we hope that we can have, another pleasant evening of discussions and engagement. Also, for some persons that are probably not aware, we are currently recruiting planning committee members. So planning committee, you're not being asked to be an executive. Planning committee, you work on special projects, probably 1 or 2 projects per semester, so it's a part-time position. But if you're dedicated, if you're interested, we'll be circulating those in the comments, the chat, so you can feel free to fill out the form. Apologies for absence include Miss Natalia Burton, that is our Assistant Secretary. Yes. So we're moving into the icebreaker segment. This will be spearheaded by myself and our Secretary, Ashley. I will start and Miss Ashley will continue. So it's going to be in 2 parts, right? First part will be our riddles, and the second part will be you are given the soundtrack for 2 songs, and the aim is to guess the songs. So now let's look at our very first riddle for this evening. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Guys, we ask you to open your mics, use the chat. This is the part where you engage with us.
Wind.
Say again?
The wind.
Anybody else have anything else to say? Do we
An echo?
Someone says an echo. Anyone else?
I'm saying an echo.
Oh.
So we have echo and we have wind. Anything else?
This one is hard. We don't know this one.
We have wind.
Yeah, should have be echo.
I like someone in the comment section. They spelled echo with an X. So X hole. They meant echo. All right, so let's see what the answer is. An echo. Next up, what is seen in the middle of March and April that can never be seen at the beginning or end of either month?
R.
Someone says R. Any other answers, guys? Going once. Going twice. Let us see. So now, before me, we'll ask the next question. I got asked the secretary, Miss Ashley. Have you been bamboozling with some of these people who are guessing all these so quick on the rapid? I'll finish the question before you.
We come prepared, JD, last week.
Yes, because last week was, I remember the last meeting questions were struggling, and I was like, why? Them are kind of rough. I know this week was supercharged.
Yeah, we come prepared.
All right, let's see the last riddle. So we have, how can the number 4 be half of 5?
2.5.
That's how it lasts.
It's the V. The V represents 5 in IV for Roman numerals.
Who said that?
It's Serena Wizard.
Let's repeat that for the back of the class ones, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know if you guys caught that, but did you hear Ashley I caught you guys? And then when the person responded, who said that? She's like, oh, dear, you actually guessed this and it makes sense. Go ahead, Serena, with the explanation again, please.
So in Roman numerals, we know that 4 is IV and V is 5, so it's half of 5 in that context.
All right, let's see if she's correct. She is. No, I'm gonna just say personally, me not get it. Probably I'm just tired.
Yeah, I get it.
But
That's half
it.
of 5. Because So
Just slice the I and the V and you get half.
Oh, I wanna really sit down and guess them something here, really, because I'm feeling very back at the class right now. So I just want,
Me
You feel like
never
me in the
guess
middle of
it.
your class.
When we da learn Roman numerals in a primary school, our teacher made the very corny joke. So big stuff.
I see.
So the next game, name that tune. Basically, you hear the song, and you're supposed to guess what the name of the song is. We're going to have two songs. Last time I played this, I made a little error where I pressed next and it revealed the name of the second song before we got there. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to play both songs this time around. So I want to just remember song one and song two, and I can guess them same time or guess them after. But I'll try not to reveal the name by accident. I'll wait until the end of the two songs. Okay?
okay.
Also, could you guys type the name of the song in the chat instead of saying it?
I'm a slow texter.
Someone
Cheat.
song to the same
If
time.
you want, hold on. If you guys actually want these points to go towards the stars that you earn for the semester and stuff and be in the running, you will need to type it in the chat.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so do we type the song one first and then song two, or we type both of them after we hear song?
I would say type the first one that you hear first, and then the next one after.
Not too easy.
Reggie, everybody has say too easy. So next song.
Black history.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Let's cover
dude.
replies in the comment section. Let's see if anybody gets them. Ashley, how are the answers looking?
I want to see if I know me, Ashley, I go say answer first. Because I know me say the first part first. Anyway. But we see.
Actually, as no one got it right.
What? The first one?
I don't know.
No, answer. No, man, you gotta take the first one, man. Go back up, man. From here that they already never put
Would
bank on
never
it.
get the second one right?
Yeah, me get the second one.
Would never get the second one. No.
The second one, I think I
No,
bounce
sir.
chicken
No.
our code.
These
I
people
mean,
are so valiant.
Wheel and
I'm
combine.
spell the other chick instead of chick. We're going on code. Because we are type so fast.
We know we get the second one.
But the first one, the easy
You know about
too.
the first one? But we
Yeah, the
get
first one a bank on it. Burner boy. Yeah,
So there are your answers, guys. Burna Boy, Bank on It, and Valiant, Don't Check. I don't know either of these songs, but I
you don't
guess
know
they're
them, did you?
popular.
Check my
I guess they are popular with the young people.
Yes.
Also,
with the
guys,
young people.
thank you guys for participating in the icebreaker segment. Just a gentle reminder that we are recruiting persons for the planning committee. It has been shared in the Telegram group, the student union group, as well as the Instagram page and our WhatsApp group. So please, I've also circulated the link to that form in the chat, so feel free to check it out. We're moving right into the next segment of tonight's meeting. The main topic for today, political insight. What are your thoughts on cultural child marriage? All right, so this is a lot. Early marriage or child marriage, defined as marriage before the age of 18. Cool. Some places, guys, you have to be 25 years old to rent a vehicle. So imagine you're allowed to marry before you're allowed to even rent a vehicle. Crazy. It's perceived as a grave violation of human rights. It's a global problem, even though it's prohibited by the Convention of the Rights of the Child and the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. Two of the most broadly endorsed international human rights agreements in the last decade, the practice of early marriage declined worldwide from 25% to 21%, so a 4% reduction, and a modest reduction of 15%. All right, so child marriage is often the result of entrenched gender inequality, making girls disproportionately affected by the practice. Globally, the prevalence of child marriage amongst boys is just 1/6 of that amongst girls. Child marriage robs girls of their childhood and threatens their lives and health. Girls who marry before 18 are more likely to experience domestic violence and less likely to remain in school. They have worse economic and health outcomes than their peers, which are eventually passed down to their children. You know, when you hear about like generational abuse, because you were hurt by your parents a certain way and you raise your children, you do the same thing and repeat the cycle, kind of like that. Further straining a country's capacity to provide quality health and education services. Turn up your devices, incoming video. Okay, see if I can play this video.
من اسمي سمیه بدم امین الله به مکتب میرفتم صنف 7 بودم در روز بمونده بود که امتحانا سالم نخو بودم که برم صنف 8 من عروسی که بکردم دیگه نگذاشتم هرچی که من گفتم میرم به مکتب میرم امی خسول ما خوشی ما همگی گفتن که اگه تو بری به مکتب ما کارا مارکی میکنم موتور بخریدیم و نمقدارمو هم که گفتم میرم مکتب و شومه و خوشومه و همه مرمه زدن که تو نمایی که بری به مکتب بعد از عروسی هم می شوهر من خود بدور مادر پیش میکرد پیهر پیش میکرد این مرمه زده دو میداد باز همه به پدر مادر خود چی نمیگفتم به هیچ کسی چی نمیگفتم باز هم به مو رقم تیر میکردم خود اینا که همه بی سوادم این را هم گفتم ما طور نمیگذاره مکتب اگه تو بری کارا مارکی میکنه 15 نفر بیدن همینجا دیگ به سر دیگ دون بود و همیته هم خونه نامیته اونی اگه بشه شما بریم نگاه کنه خیلی خونه گندی هم دارن از من 2.5 لک بود پیشکش من به می 2.5 لک اون خدا شاهده که پیهن من همال 2 لک 3 لک به خونه نمال کرد بستره بداد طلا به من بداد هرچی به من پدرم بداد نه به من هرچی می زدم به مشت و به لغت و به چپات که ایتا مثلا اثر یا نمونه به جان به شلاق ایتا چیزا نمی زدن که اثر بمونه همیتا به مشت و لغت و هردم من می زدم و دو می دادم فاش می گفتم مکتب خوب همه می دوران طفولیت خورد هست
حالا چی میخوایی؟
من مکتب خوش دیدم که بازم به می دلیل من میگم سرا مرتیبا کنه ما طلاق نمایم میگم سرا خونه مرتیبا کنه همه رخت لباس ما همه چیز همه تکمیل باشه چی از اینا کم نباشه ما بازم ادامه زندگی میدم از وقتی که شما آمدیم بعد از پدرم خیلی جنگ دعوا میکرد و چه کردیم بندی شد 2 سال میشه که بندی شده بعد از او فعلا هم 4 ماه میشه که بندی شده یعنی 2 سال بندیگیری حفظ دادم برای و همه کردم طلاق رم بگرفتم از خشاخ اینا اونا هم دارن زندگی خور میکنم من زندگی عادی خور شروع کردم خیاطی میکنم من مادرم یک براری دارم برار من فعلا به شرکت مایه بره کار میکنه دیگه کسی نیست از ما که مثلا نوار خونه ما فقط مانه اول خدا بعد از ما برار میینه کلا نمینه پدرم کارم نمیکرد بله فعلا بیتر شده حالا که پیام نیم خب کل بیتر شده به خاطر از اینکه پیام که به جنگ دعوا میکرد و چه میکرد اون پولی که ما خیاطی کردی از ما میسون به این واسه از اون لحاظ خیلی خوب خونه دیگه مخیطی مانه که مثلا پرانه که بیارم 2 ساعت چه 3 ساعت چه ساعت ری پشه می فعلا به می محل ما به می کوچی که ما داریم زندگی میکنه 5-6 تا خیاطیه ایتنی که فقط ما باشیم به خاطر از اینکه ما نادارتریم و ارزونتر میدیزیم برای ما خیلی میارم بیشتر خیاطی پیش مانه فعلا اکو از مکتب چیزی گفتن چون که تصمیم قطعی ندارم که برام از دارالفاز دیگه دیپلم خور میگیرم و دارالفاز وا میکنم
Oh boy. All right, guys. So what was your take on that video? Raise your hands, guys. This is how this section works. Raise your hand and we'll take you in the order in which your hand is raised. Based on the information that we understand, what do we think about cultural child marriages? Do we think that this ancient tradition is something that should be discontinued? We'll see only one hand raised. And just a reminder that when you do raise your hand to speak, you are given 1 minute and 30 seconds after your time is up. Irrespective of how far you reach, you will be stopped. So make your point very quick. And all right. Graham, you can go ahead.
Okay, so respective of time, I believe that that tradition is a thing that shouldn't have even been started in the first place. But seeing as it has been started and it's still currently going on, I don't think it should still be going on in this day and age. Yes, we understand it's a part of poverty and all of that, but it has negative impacts on the person, on the female or whosoever is being married off. Because in her situation, now she's saying that her father is gone, and so what's going to happen when it is that he gets released? He's going to potentially marry her off to somebody else. So I don't think that that's a thing that should still be going on in today's day and age.
Thank you for sharing that. Next person, Tasha, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So as we just saw in the video, when these children are actually married, they miss out on experience, skills, and confidence that are needed in their own individual life. And obviously, she was actually forced to take up things to make a living, and I don't think this is suitable or should even begin, as Rihanna said, in the first place, because when you look at it, these the things and the traumatic things that they have to go through. I mean, the video itself was so sad, and to see that the child actually have to go through so much to just meet society standards is really, I don't know, it's heart rendering. So that's what I really wanted to say.
Thank you so much for sharing. Go ahead, Fernando.
All right. So my takes on it before, when that was relevant, was, let's say, to prevent wars, for the poor family to get help. So yeah, the beauty of the daughter was sacrificed, but in today's day and age it is not necessary. It's not needed today, regardless of where you are in society. I mean, especially with the access to the world. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much for sharing. Appreciate. Anybody else has anything else to say concerning child marriages? Do you think it should be discontinued?
Yes, it should be discontinued.
Hold on. Do you think that these parents that do it should be punished harshly, or do you think they should
Yes,
be?
they should. Yes,
Hold on. Do you think also these children, the victims, should be compensated? Like when they sue somebody and they pay you, get compensated for their trauma.
I don't think compensation would do any good for them, honestly.
You really don't think compensation would do anything for these
they lost these kids. Remember, they are kids. They are being raped because it's basically rape. They can't consent to having sex, so they are being raped.
No, but it's not just rape. It's a whole child marriage responsibility. You're being robbed of education. Payment can send them back to school. Payment can set up their independence. These things, and But nonetheless, if you
Yeah,
have
and it
anything
can
to
help
say,
with
just hold on,
with
Spencer,
counseling.
1 second. Anything to say, just raise your hand. I will tell them in order, so we don't have this talking over person. The questions I was asking was rhetorical to jog your mind to see if you have anything else to say. All right. Karine, go ahead.
Good night, everyone. I've actually watched this video, and the thought that came to me was this child, well, she lost her childhood for one. She was forced to become an adult within the age of, I would say, her teenage years. Luckily, she did not have a child during that process. But I listened to you, JD, and I'm thinking of being compensated, that is one. But looking at it deeply, these children would be affected mentally. Would they even get a chance to finish their education? Because if you're mentally in a mental state, right, how are you going to focus? I mean, to get yourself at a better place. It needs more than just being compensated. They need literal help. Psychologists, whoever, they are going to need strong assistance, not just to be compensated to say, this will take them through school. They're going to need to take them out of that country because they're going to look at other persons, maybe relatives or friends of theirs going through the same thing over again. That culture, they just won't change. That is what they're used to, right? And I'm sure their probably parents or grandparents have gone through the same situation. Their culture will just not change unless they move out of that situation, move out of that country, period, before any change can happen. It is just really a sad thing. These things, and I don't even think it will ever change because that's all they know. Unless they go to a different country and see new things, you understand, they won't have a fighting chance. So it's just
All
really
right.
sad that they're going through this.
Thank you. Sorry to cut you with your minute and 30 seconds was finished. So thank you very much for your input.
Thank you.
I see that Fernando has his hand raised again. I'm gonna take Dalvin and then I'll come back to you. All right. So go ahead, Dalvin.
Good night, ladies and gents. My take on this is, of course, it shouldn't be happening. And in this young lady's case, I think that her father is basically a lazy sloth, and because he doesn't want to work, because he is just worthless, he decided to treat his daughter as an object. And a lot of, well, to my knowledge, a lot of the parents, the families in those regions, that's what they do because they know that's an option. However, there are some that I'm not condoning this, as I said first, that it shouldn't be happening, but what some do, and the successful ones, they make sure that whoever they are giving their daughter to, and I said give like they're treating their family like objects, but I'm not going to get into that. Whoever they give them to, they make sure that it's a good family so that their child or children won't need to go through something like that. And that's my take on the matter.
Thank you very much. Sylvia, if you don't mind waiting one more time. I would like to go before you. um I do think that the situation it will have lasting effects. So even if you get them out of it, they will still have like trauma from it to deal with in future and such and such. I understand. Some persons, I'm not sure where it come from, but some cultures believe that as soon as a female, a girl, sees her first menstrual, has her first menstrual cycle and has her menses and those stuff, then she's a woman. In their eyes, even if she's not really physically finished developing and her brain and all those stuff still developing, they believe that that's a sign that she's now a woman, right? So in their mind, they're like, oh, you're a woman, you can get married and such. But I think it is very, and very outdated tradition that more eyes need to be placed upon, because it's ruining lives and it's ruining families. Because sometimes these girls grow into women, and when they have children of their own, because of how they were oppressed and beaten down, they don't even have the confidence sometimes to stand up for their own partners to say, hey, I don't want this for my child. And they're so used to it that, even though they hate it, they think they have no choice, and it continues the cycle over and over. For persons that are involved, as both the parents or parent that's selling the child or allowing it to happen, as well as the other set of parents, like the in-laws that are receiving it, I think they should be punished, not just to serve time in jail, but also some compensation. And I think like more needs to be done to relocate these persons. Like they shouldn't be, oh, they're out of the marriage, but they still live in this area, because then they're vulnerable. But if their ex-husband or their father wants to, take it out on them physically or any kind of way, I think systems need to be put in place, or procedures or agencies to help them relocate and start over, and also giving them the tools they need. But also, even if we give them like a sentence, I still think they should be charged as well, like to compensate, because you've injured this person physically, emotionally. You've stolen their childhood, and you set them back. This is their life that you're treating as if, oh, I own you because I'm your parents. I own you. I can do what I want with you. That's not how it works. So I do think more of those need to be in place. There may be already existing systems and procedures in place, but I think more needs to be put in place, and like rehabilitation into society, meaning educating these girls and boys, because they did mention that it does happen for boys. It's just more prevalent in females. Needs to be more rehabilitation, education-wise, mentally, emotionally, so that they can try and like find a way to just overcome it. Someone asked in the comment, like, what happens after the 2 years when her father is released from prison? I don't honestly, we're not even able to tell, because is he just gonna come home as if nothing happened? Who knows? Did they completely relocate from wherever they were living? Is her mom and her other siblings living somewhere else? Is her mom divorced from her father? Some of these questions we don't know. Because even if let's say you break up the illegal marriage, if you're still in the same abusive setting, the home, then it's abuse going on just in a different way. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Yeah, and yes, in this case, in that specific situation, I mean, she did mention that her dad never worked, and then obviously he deserved to serve he deserved to be fined, because normally it's the reason why these things happen. It's like, as I said, to prevent wars. It has to have a meaning. Like it's not just okay, I can do this for money. No, if a dad is struggling, yeah, to take the family out of poverty, to join two families, two companies, business related, but this man is taking his daughter for a product, and yeah, he deserves it. And as it relates to whether he can come back and then enter in the home, I mean, he serves no purpose. If he's abusive, like, he has no value in the home. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Ashley, and Ashley will take Graham and we'll close off this section. So go ahead, Ashley. Remember your 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock.
Well, the real questions you had asked, however, yes, I think it should be scrapped. It shouldn't have even been a tradition in the first place, because as everyone is saying, it's traumatizing to a child. She lost her childhood. As you can see, she was literally on the verge of tears. And her father should have gotten way more time than that. Not because he's her father, it means he is supposed to do that. That's literally just taking her as a puppet.
Thank you very much for sharing. Graham, go ahead. 1 minute is on the clock. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that even though we're talking about this, another thing is to be taken into consideration. Even though this specific young lady didn't have children, there are many others who are in the same situation who end up having children at young ages. And you know that sometimes, because the organs are not fully developed, that sometimes leads to death in childbirth. So all of that could have been avoided if it was just if that tradition or if that practice wasn't still being used, because I'm pretty sure a lot of unnecessary deaths have happened over or because of these child marriages. And then even if they do live, the child will then sometimes, depending on how the person deals with it, hurt people hurt people. So sometimes the child will end up being a product of abuse, or even end up suffering abuse from the hand of the same parent who was abused.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. And thank you guys for participating in this section of the meeting. Next on the agenda. All right, guys, as you can see on the screen, we have up the flyer regarding the planning committee. We are urging you guys to please consider applying. As a planning committee member, you are not an executive. We're not asking you to plan club meetings. For this semester in particular, one of the projects you'll be working on, if you so desire to take on this position, is we would like to have our very first club outing, a club trip. We get to see each other and go out and have wonderful fun and memories to enjoy. In order to do so, we have formed a planning committee. So we want our members to be involved in the planning process for this very event that is for the club. So it is not a full-time duty like an executive role where you may be required to actively be engaging every single week, day in, day out. No, it's project-based. So even if we have this trip for this semester, in next semesters we might have other events. Typically, it will be 1 or 2 events per semester. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm not have the time, or I'm going to be overloaded, it's a bit too much. No, we just ask you to participate in the planning of special events for the club, so not just everyday meeting. I see everybody is getting distracted in the comment section. Nobody paying attention to me. I've shared the link again in the chat, guys. It is also in the Telegram group, the main student union group, as well as the WhatsApp group. It's also on our Instagram page. Check it out, guys. See if it's for you. Ask your questions, and let's get into it. Confession story time. Some of us really love these sections of the meeting. So, confession story time. What's the craziest thing you've seen, heard, or walked in on? Oh boy, another video technical issues. If the video don't work, guys, it is safe to blame Ashley. You have permission.
Actually, get ready.
Prepare yourself.
You guys just ready to stop blaming and nothing. Get a little chance for Lord.
Guilty before proven innocent.
No, I this is not your world.
You'll do just fine.
Confession: my dad and sister's relationship. I've been quiet about this for a few years, but it's Reddit, so I don't give a shit. When I was 9, I walked into my parents' room to ask my mom a question and I heard moaning and the bed creaking, which I was used to, since my parents did it a lot, so I went to the kitchen and my mom was standing right there. My heart dropped, and I asked where my dad and sister were. She's 19, also I don't want to say either of their names so I don't expose their identities, and she told me he was helping her with a project. Recently, I got mono and stayed home. My dad is retired, my sister is a college dropout, and my mom is a full-time lawyer, so we were all home except for my mom. I wanted to see if my dad and sister still do the deed after all these years, so I told them I was going on a walk and shut the door. I went back in through the back door and they were doing it on the sofa. Girl, when I tell you I ran. Update, important. The reason I didn't come forward before posting this was because I didn't realize that my sister might be being abused by my father. I assumed she enjoyed what she had been doing with my father, but I'll try to say something to her about it and I will update you guys. My father is a very violent person, and if he even found out that I knew, I would probably end up in the hospital. The only person I'm close with in my family is my mom, and when she's angry she goes hysterical. I know keeping quiet is a bad thing, but coming from someone with 2 physically and mentally abusive parents, it's scary.
Hold on. I think we have more confessions, but we're gonna open the floor for just a few minutes while we talk about that one. Yeah, just a few minutes, guys. Just for 7 minutes in total. So raising a hand from now, any hands would all raise after I start accepting people. We're not taking them. Raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands. Going once.
Too much.
Hold on. Going once. Twice. You don't raise your hand by now. You have to just wait until the next one. Alright, go ahead, Sylvia.
Listen, first of all, the reason why I never come out is because in the enjoy watching. Second of all, the father need for dead. And third, boy, that's a sad story.
Thank you. Alright. Let's look at the next one. And again, if the video doesn't work, you know where to point your fingers. So I'm going to pause and read it because name Ashley. Hold on. So it says, confession. My parents went out to a party and would be back at 3 in the morning. So, God, it's so blurry. So, me and my grandpa were home alone. I called my girlfriend to come over and I wanted an hour. She didn't show up. So I went to go see what my grandpa was doing. Turns out something, my girlfriend and 2 other teenager girls were doing the dirty. PSI dumped her straight after. What a blurry video. Okay. Any thoughts on that, guys? Any thoughts on that? It's not my laptop. The video blurry. Feel free, guys. Can you guys see this clear on your phone?
Well, their grandfather, they have some farmer money role or something.
Why you think so? Because he did that with the young people?
Grandpa of swag, man.
So because he didn't do it with young people, he has to have money.
So wait,
yeah.
And which you really go look for an old man and do that with him?
That's not my type, but that some persons have that type. It has nothing to do with money. Some persons just have that type.
Yeah, and I have nothing to do with money for true because when I reach that age, I'm still gonna look this young, you see me? So I kind of maybe grandfather look young, you know? So
You're saying swagger up. Okay.
yeah. Coming at age.
Let's see what else is in store. Our next story, guys. Ready. I want to share a story of what happened to me in 2020 during the pandemic year. Yeah. So I had this boyfriend who I loved so much, and he loved me too. I was madly in love with him nonstop. And at the moment, I wanted to be a part of his life. I wanted more. It was barely 8 months since we started dating, but I was already thinking about being his wife and birthing his children. Our children. Babies, guys. Babies. Whenever we spoke over the phone, we lose track of time, not minding how much MTN was charging us. Okay, I guess foreign people. 10 months after we started dating, Nonso, that's I guess the guy name, asked me to marry him. Oh my God, 10 months after. Some people need 5 years, these people need 10 months. I was happy. Finally, we'll be getting married. He came to see parents and they loved him. Okay. It was now time to meet his family, but he said his mom was very sick and she won't make it to Kaduna. We settled to meet in his auntie's house in Kaduna since she was part of his family. That's the next part, guys. We settled. Okay. The introduction was successful as some of his uncles come to. I guess his uncles came to. Then Then we started planning our traditional wedding. My father traveled to the village to make inquiry about the guy's family. I can't say the name yet. That word there. But he heard the shocking news rather in my father's word. I got to the family house and asked about Nanso. The mother was shocked at my request to see my son. I explained everything to her and her countenance changed. She asked her youngest daughter to call Nanso's uncle. He came and I repeated my intentions to him and again. He offered me a seat and told me how he died in 2019. And he showed me where they buried his body. I asked about a certain auntie, Chinelo, who had welcomed us at his auntie and some uncle scream. Is my wife. She died earlier this year. This girl is dating a dopey. So the auntie, Chinelo, she died earlier this year. This came as a shock to me. I tried calling the guy, but his number wasn't connecting. I went to his house, but everything was empty. What? I decided to visit his auntie, Chinelo, but another woman has moved in already. His pictures are still on my phone, but I don't know how to explain all of these. It's 2 years already. I was supposed to be married to this guy on the 30th of December 2020, only to find out that my guy is a ghost.
Her
Australia took all
imagination
kind of
is
turn.
wild.
Oh my god.
Like COVID. I need COVID, so I believe. I believe.
All right, listen. Is there more to this? I feel like that's a cliffhanger, and I need the rest. I need the rest. Is that all, Ashley? Is there more?
That's it.
That can't be it. That what? That not right. So one died in 2019. So who did she meet? Because she met them in person. So she met the guy in person, then and she know him look like in pictures. So she met my brain can't process
She
that.
was dreaming.
Oh, probably she's schizophrenic. Don't know. Does that seem like very vivid dream to dream the both of them? Two random people.
You know, Foster's home of imaginary friends. Yeah,
Oh yes.
they have one imaginary friend.
But he was real. So where should you know him from?
So you're saying that she did 10 months of dreaming? That me want to understand.
But I mean the fact that she met his aunt and then that same aunt is dead. So how do you explain meeting a dead person?
This story just
Some
messed
people
up.
don't sit up with it true.
No, so them can sit dumpy, but them not married to them, sir. Sure. Okay.
But she the one married to him though.
Yes, but him is dead, him is a dopey, that's what I say. Just
And in dead from 2019.
and the thing is, but sometimes people see doppies, like they must see them in a certain times. The fact that she never have a phone call with him. Now imagine if she have a roommate and all this time she not talk to nobody, right? And she did a kiki and the phone up and speak and the friend look at her like, tell her mad. Because nobody not there. I don't know, the story is just interesting. All right, moving on to the next part. Let's see what Ashley has in store. Another video. Oh boy.
Actually, that's wild.
Sims 4. No. Actually, I never videoed him. At the first 4 never malfunction enough. It's gonna take a while, guys. So be patient. Any more videos after this, Ashley?
No, JD, and it's your laptop.
That's game. What kind of name that? Let's not. Okay, it's loading.
And if you tell me, we're not going to be mad.
I said the Lord's name in vain at school.
I said I wasn't going to get angry, and I'm not angry.
I went to the petting zoo and I let the goat lick my penis. I had a beer with the old biker man at the end of the street, and he let me touch his old lady's titty. Breast. One time I put a firefly in my butthole.
Why?
To make my farts glow. I shaved the dog and glued the hair to my nutsack so I looked like a grown man.
I touched myself to Drew Carey on The Price is Right.
Hey, that's enough. Stop, please.
I only have one thing to say. Parents, never ask your children to confess the wrongs that they have done.
I mean, not every child is going to confess. Not all of them are going to confess if you really think about it. Some of them will take it to the grave. You will never know. It just got worse and worse. First, it started out not so bad. It just got worse and worse.
It's not. Yeah, for true. But
it's like the shaving the hair and gluing it to his testicles. What? The touching the old woman's breast. What?
Not so bad.
The firefly. The putting the firefly in his butt so he could have glowing parts. How is that supposed to work? It's not like you're supposed to touch the firefly and then they get the bioluminescence thing on it and then they can glow. And why would you want to see it glow though? Because then when you see this person to the ear, you're like, I farted an hour ago and I can still see particles. So when I'm breathing in, I don't want to know that unless I know.
Not UCC students trying to understand the mind of a child.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Alrighty. So we've reached that section now, guys. Here we are again. The date of the next meeting. So the date of our next meeting, meeting number 3, it will be a planned activity, movie night, February 18th. This will be before MSA, guys. So we will be sending out a poll, and we will collectively the one that has the most votes. That's what will determine what movie we watch on that night. So stay tuned, and you'll hear more about it. For that meeting in particular, it will be starting at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Not 9. 8 p.m. Not 9. 8 o'clock. So we'll see you then, guys. Closing remarks. Thank you for being present for another club meeting. We know that we kind of started off rough and started late. Thank you for coming out and participating as usual. It was a pleasure to have you. Wishing you a productive week next week, and we're hoping that our next meeting will be just as engaging and relaxing as this one. So see you. What is Dean typing? But okay, dramatic. All right, guys. Love. The meeting is now being adjourned at 10:45 p.m.